Hello viewers, we're coming to you live from our main studio in Bakau, the Gambia. This is N24 News Hour and I am your presenter Mary Matlinjai. Coming up in the next minutes, the Gambia participates on its election assessment, come up with its parliamentary election findings, but what are the findings? Car dealers in the Gambia launch its first ever association. In sports, former Man United manager Louis van Gaal reveals he has prostate cancer. On the international front, SARS commits to fight jihadists in Mozambique court upholds sentence against Hotel Rwanda manager. These and more to feature in our today's bulletin. Stay tuned. Many thanks for joining us, and we start with almost every election in the Gambia participates release its findings on their election observation mission. They began the parliamentary election assessment for a month, but what are some of the findings of the Gambia participates? Our reporter Sukoy Jajusi tells us more in this report.
Gambia participates released their findings on the election observation mission. The period of assessment began on the 1st to 31st of March 2022, released on March 31st. On its findings from the first week of March, Marinyang, the founder and executive director, states that reports that were made during the reporting periods, Gambia participates focus on 6 emerging trends that are likely to affect the electoral process.
Get out the vote campaigns to mobilize participation in the electioneering process. GP observed that voter education campaigns are occurring unevenly across the regions and will encourage stakeholders to intensify efforts in areas that are relatively uninformed. GP found that political party rallies are occurring throughout the country, primarily organized by the APRC, Citizens Alliance, GDC, NPP, PDOIS, and UDP. GP recommends that candidates and parties adhere to the electoral codes, discourage violence among their supporters, and desist from all illegal practices such as the abuse of state resources for campaigns. GP urges all relevant security agents to respond timely and appropriately to emerging conflicts.
The founder also states that general environment calm and orderly were made except for a civil unrest that was reported in Bundunka constituency in Kanifing.
On March 10, 2022, the on-the-spot rejection of UDP's Busumbala constituency candidate, in bracket Mahmoud Sabali, propelled an unrest between UDP followers and police personnel. Our observer reported that the use of excessive force by police personnel and the throwing of harmful debris on police personnel by UDP supporters. 6% of the LTOs in Banjul Central, Banjul North, and Busumbala reported a build-up of political tensions. The pre-election environment was relatively calmer at 96% in the third reporting period when compared to 91% that was reported in the second period.
Mar also states that observers witnessed a relatively charged political environment in the second reporting period, as they report disorder in the IEC office and as well as report a state of panic and internal migration at Fonye.
Disorder at the IEC and civil unrest were reported. These incidents were reported in Fonye Bondali, Kantora, and Talinding Kunjang constituencies. In addition, our observer for Fonye Council in the West Coast region reported a state of panic and internal migration due to the exchange of heavy gunfire between Senegalese troops and MFDC rebels on March 13, 2022. According to our observer in Fonye Bondali, chaos erupted between a fraction of NPP and APRC supporters in the constituency. A chaos was as a result of NPP sponsoring a candidate against APRC's Kadi Kamara. The APRC followers in the constituency protested the sponsoring of Usman Nyasi by the NPP because they alleged that the NPP violates the coalition agreement between APRC and NPP. As a result of this tension, Usman Nyasi resulted in running as an independent candidate.
Gambia participants deployed 65 long-term observers stationed in all the 50 three constituencies to monitor the nominations of political campaign ahead of the April 9 parliamentary elections. For N24 News, I am Sukai Jajusi.
They say unity is strength. Third car dealers in the Gambia launched their association called Gambia Car Dealers Association at the Seaview Hotel in Senegambia. This association is to help bring car dealers in the Gambia together under one umbrella. Al-Amin Kajira was at the launch and filed in this report.
The newly formed association, which put car dealers under an umbrella, is the first of its kind in the country. Kutubu Mbub, the Secretary General of the association, said it is formed to unify car dealers so to ease operation within and outside the Gambia. However, it is yet to have an executive board. The ceremony was graced by senior government officials. Among them was the Commissioner General of GRA, Yankuba Dabo, who hailed the initiative and spoke of the importance the association will have in making work at GRA easier and organized for car dealers.
Today is a very happy day for me in the sense that I am happy to see you people organize yourself in this format and then form an association called the Gambia's Car Dealers Association. And this will make your job easy and also make our job easy. Over the years, the Gambia Revenue Authority have been battling with your members simply because there was no organized association. So you don't even know who to deal with because you were all standing on your own. This makes the job very difficult for us, But I don't know who comes with this idea, but it is really a fantastic idea. It is good that you have something like this in the Gambia. If you look at the other professionals, starting from the lawyers, the Gambian lawyers have an association, the Bar Association. If you look at the clearing and forwarding agents, they also have an association. All other professionals, dealers, they have their own their association. So it is also very important, very, very important for you to have an association like this so that your leaders, if we have some issues, if the government has issues dealing with these second-hand cars, then, we have somewhere to point at. But right now, the problem we are having is when we have problems, either at the border or at the seaport, we don't know who to contact. It makes life very difficult for us. So really, this is a very, very, very good idea.
Dabo added on to emphasize the need for the association's cooperation in ending the smuggling of vehicles through Gambia's borders. He urges the doers of such outlaw practice to stop.
The people who are involved in either way clearing their vehicles not in the right way, it must be stopped. And the association secretariat must stop that. If you feel that or you find out that there are anybody within you who is not playing the game by the rule, let the person be reported to GRA or any other government authority that is dealing with this. We are all Gambians. We want to encourage you to do more in your business. We want to encourage you. Undoubtedly, we will give you support, any kind of support. You all know we created what we call the bonded warehouse facilities for you. Simply means when you have 10 or 20 vehicles, you can clear your vehicles on direct delivery basis and we get the register of it, and then you pay your vehicles as they are sold. That is a good facility government has created for you, just to make sure that you are not cash-strapped. So imagine you have 20 vehicles, and we said that we insist that you must pay duty for all of them before they go out of the port. That's going to make you cash-strapped, or you have to get the money from the bank, and then the bank will charge you interest. But GRA is giving you facility to clear these goods and take it to your bonded warehouses.
Dabo seized the opportunity to remind GCDA to consider to stop the importation of outdated cars into the country. According to him, such are deterrents to the government.
We don't want to see this country to be a dumping place. You will all agree with me. Some of your members will bring vehicles here that are as old as 25 years old. They are old as 30 years old. Some of those vehicles, they are not wanted in Europe or America or elsewhere. These are vehicles that are parked in the garage. As small as $150 or $100 you can get it, or 150 euro. Imagine a vehicle costing 150 euro. because they just want to get rid of that vehicle. You want to use a third world country. They just to come and dump it here. Pollution and all sicknesses that are related to used vehicles. You also have to help us. This is a business that you used to live on, but you also have to help us to make sure that if you are importing vehicles, they must be vehicles that are of outstanding. They will not be in the country to cause more problem.
Meanwhile, GCDA donated a vehicle to the police which was received by Police Commissioner on behalf of the IGP. They also extended hands to the Tanka Psychiatric Hospital, a gesture well received by both beneficiaries. Tanka still calls for more support. Alamin Kijer reporting for N24 News Hour.
November 2021 is a date many political parties will look back and say they signed the Code of Conduct. March 2022 will be another aspiring parliamentaries will remember for signing the Code of Conduct and abide by the clauses and the provision in it. This is a report gathered for us during the signing of the Code of Conduct.
In November 2021, political parties signed a peaceful code of conduct ahead of the presidential election and the replica with aspiring parliamentarians ahead of the April 9th election. This signing of the code of conduct signifies a step to another peaceful election ahead as these people agree on all the provisions and clauses in it. The parliamentary election, which is slated for April 9th, will go as planned by the IEC, and one may wonder if it will just be a signing or adherence to the code. The signing of the Code of Conduct also saw goodwill speakers share messages ahead of the election. Ali Moburunjai, IEC Chair, and Dr. Tommy, Chair of the NAC, are one of those.
Code on electoral campaign ethics seeks to deliver peaceful, free, and fair elections. Most candidates had observed its requirements in the past election cycles. I expect such compliance to be repeated during the election cycle. The Commission calls on all candidates to adhere to these very important codes once again.
This valuable directive is not just directed to the party leaders, the candidates, the parties, and supporters at large, but the entire country. Campaign activities should not be conducted in a manner or environment that encourages or fuels violence. Campaign in its totality should be a battle of ideas and ideology and not, I repeat, not of weapons.
This parliamentary election will be contested by about 221 candidates as per persons registered by the IEC. Ms. Hannah Foster is the chair of Coalition on Elections and take us through some of the provisions of the Code of Conduct.
I, the underlisted candidate contesting in the National Assembly elections in the Republic of the Gambia, having been duly certified by the Independent Electoral Commission to contest the National Assembly elections, signed on 29th of March 2022 at the instance of the Gambian people, based on our aspirations for peaceful elections and the judicial resolution of electoral disputes, to place national interests above personal and partisan concerns, renewing our deep commitments to peace in all our political activities before, during, and after the April 9, 2022 National Assembly elections. We hereby commit ourselves and our parties and followers to the following. 1. To run issue-based political campaigns at village, town, city, district, constituency, municipal, regional, and national levels.
The doubt of a peaceful election is not in the minds of the ordinary Gambians, as the country is known for conducting peaceful elections. The Code of Conduct signed is a mandatory code for all aspiring parliamentarians who sign to adhere to it. Pavut Muskuria, N24 News Hour.
In sports, former Manchester United manager Louis van Gaal says he is receiving treatment for prostate cancer. The Dutchman, currently in charge of the Netherlands national team, made the announcement on Dutch TV program Humberto on Sunday. Van Gaal, 70, said he had kept the news from his players during the recent international break. He said he did not want to tell it to his players because it could have influenced their performance. Van Gaal is in his third spell as Netherlands head coach, having led them to third place at the 2014 World Cup and now to the 2022 finals in Qatar. In a two-year spell at Manchester United, Van Gaal led them to FA Cup success in 2016 before he was replaced. He has also won league titles with Barcelona, Bayern Munich, AZ Alkmaar and Ajax, where he led the Dutch side to Champions League glory in 1995. Van Gaal is due to be in charge of the Netherlands at the World Cup in Qatar in November, with his side in Group A along with Senegal. And away from the latest happenings in sports, let's now look at the latest of the internationals. An appeal court in Rwanda has upheld the 25-year prison sentence of Paul Rusesabagina as it declared him guilty on terror charges. The subject of the Hollywood movie about the Rwanda genocide, Hotel Rwanda. Rusesabagina has boycotted court proceedings since March 2021, saying they were unfair. The prosecution had requested that his sentence be increased to life in prison, but this was rejected. The court reduced the sentence of Kalex Nasabimana, known as Sankara, the former spokesperson of the FLN rebel group linked to Rusesabagina, from 20 to 15 years. The court said the two were guilty of deadly attacks conducted by the rebel group in southwest Rwanda in 2019, but that Nsabimana had apologized and cooperated with the court during trials. Rusesabagina was tricked into a private jet from Dubai to Kigali in August 2020, arrested and paraded to media before the trials against him. The appeal court has also upheld the sentence of another 19 co-accused, mostly former FLN members. Rusesabagina's relatives, who live in Belgium and the US, have condemned his renditions and trials in Rwanda. The Southern African Development Committee has committed to continuing to help fight jihadist groups in northern Mozambique. The mission will see a continued presence of military personnel there for the next few months, with the long-term plan being to de-escalate the violence and help to bring stability to the region. At a Troika meeting in Pretoria on Sunday, South Africa's International Relations Minister Naledi Pandor told her counterparts that the SAC mission has made good progress in rebelling attacks over the past year. She added that one of the aims of the SAC's presence will be ensured through reconstruction of Cabo Delgado, a region rich in gas. The meeting also had that the EU has committed to funding the mission and will offer humanitarian as well as military assistance. Viewers, that's all time we have in today's bulletin, but keep connected to your favorite N24 TV.